Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedrunning video, or welcome to the channel if you are new here. So in today's video I'm going to be building a house in the world of Windenburg, which is the world that we got from the expansion pack The Sims 4 Get Together. I'm going to be building a Christmas family home using all the new items that we got from the latest free update of some sort, which was the Sims Delivery Express drop. So on Wednesday this week we got our second load of Sims Delivery Express items added into our game, and the Sims Delivery Express is a new thing that the Sims have just started doing. I believe the first drop was last week and we got one hair in Creator Sim, but then this week they've done a Delivery Express drop with all kind of like holiday related items. Now the Sims Delivery Express is a new thing that the Sims team are doing, and they've only just started doing it, and from my understanding, and please don't quote me on this, but from what I have gathered, I think it's this new thing that they're doing because, you know, whenever we have bug fixes or patch updates or whatnot, and they kind of fix a load of things all in one, and then they'll give us maybe like a new pair of jeans or a new hair or something. Well, from my understanding, if they made that hair a few months ago and they were waiting for a massive patch update to happen, they would release the hair when there was kind of like a big patch update. But to avoid that and to kind of get content out to us quicker, free content, they're doing this new thing is called Sims Delivery Express. I really hope that I explained that well enough, but if I confused you, basically, long story short, every once in a while, and I don't know how often it's going to be, this is our second one 2 weeks in a row, but honestly don't hold your breath for that. I think it was just kind of like a one-off. You know what they did with kits when we first got the release of kits, they gave us like 3 in 1. I think it was just because they had a load of content already there. I don't think we're going to be getting them every single week or not, but every once in a while we're going to be getting a new Sims Delivery Express, and it's basically just new free content that's added into your game. It's not going to require a massive, you know, like patch update that might take like 10-15 minutes. It's not going to have to require you to go and update every single one of your mods and stuff, because that's the thing. I love patch day because, you know, the game gets a little bit more fixed, but on the same token, when patch day happens, I'm scared to open my game because the amount of mods that I have to go and manually update. But that's basically what a Sims Delivery Express is, and it's a new thing. Like I said, there was one last week, but I didn't speak about it in my video, and so I thought I'd talk about it here because in this build, which I will talk about in just a second, but in this week's video, in this build, I used all the new items that we got within the like content patch, and they're all from base game, which, by the way, don't do what I did, because when the patch came out, I just assumed that it would be a part of the free holiday pack. I spent a good 20 minutes refreshing my game, thinking my game was broken because I couldn't see it under the free holiday tag. They listed it as base game, and so don't do what I did. Save yourself 20 minutes and just filter by base game if you want to look at the new items. Don't filter by the free holiday pack. But yeah, anyway, moving on from that, I'm finally talking about what I'm doing right now and just a little bit more about this house. So this week, as you might be able to tell, and as I've already kind of mentioned, I'm going to be building a Christmas family home. Now, late last week, I think it was on either Saturday or Sunday, I posted on my community tab if you guys would like to see me do a Christmas build, and I haven't checked it in a few days, but the last time I looked, 95% of you voted yes, and so I thought, well, let's do a Christmas build, and I'm so happy that I decided to do one, and I really like the way it turned out. Honestly, it made me feel so much more festive and just so excited for the upcoming like next week, because Christmas is literally next week, which I could not believe. But yeah, it just helped me get a little bit more into the festive spirit. I got so much fun out of decorating this house with loads of different Christmas trees and all these different Christmas decorations and garlands, and I just had so much fun, and I really hope you guys like it. But anyway, you can see that the main structure of the build came together quite quickly. Now off camera, I just quickly got my sim to go in and manually add some, I say manually, she didn't get any ladders or anything, but I got my sim to put up some Christmas like decorations on the eaves of the house, and I got my sim to place down some yellow and white little twinkling lights. There is so many different options for you to decorate roof trims with, foundation, fences. There's all these different kind of banners and like all these different things that you could decorate the exterior of your Sims houses with the little decoration box, which came from Seasons, by the way. But I thought, you know what, let's just decorate it quite simple and then add in some exterior decorations like some other ones to kind of finish it off. One of the things that I added on the left hand side, which I absolutely love, is this little red mini, and then I moved objects, a Christmas tree, on top of it and then rotated it so it looks like the Christmas tree is sitting on the mini. I had the idea in my head that maybe this Sims family have just drove to the local garden centre or drove to the local farmer shop, they've picked up their Christmas tree and maybe picked up some relatives on the way, because also on top of the Mini I moved objects, some suitcases and then some boxes, so it looks like there's a family member maybe travelling back home for Christmas or something. Honestly, it made it look like a Christmas card, and I was just so happy with the way it turned out. But also on the outside, to kind of like finish it off, I added one of the new items that we got from the latest Sims Delivery Express, which was this red bow. I sized it up and I put it on the front door, and then I also added a little reindeer that we got from Seasons, and I moved it so it looks like it's sitting on the roof, which I just thought was the most adorable thing. But anyway, moving from that and moving on into the inside of this house, as you can see, I've now started finishing the inside hallway, and you can currently see that I'm going around with a tool mod and I'm rotating these little, I don't even know what they call these, Christmas decorations is what I'm going to call them. But this is something that I've seen done a bunch of times in loads of different Christmas films, in loads of different, even just people's houses, like people's houses that I've been to around the festive season. I've just seen this done so many times, and I thought, why not spice up the little, you know, like the little handle, it's not called a handle, what is it called? The railing of the stairs, and add some Christmas decorations to it. I tried to add as many Christmas decorations as I could possible without making it be too over the top within this house. You'll see what I mean as we get further on into the video. But now, as you can see, I've moved on into the next room, which is the kitchen. The kitchen ends up being this really long, it's kind of like a long slim kitchen, and I didn't want to have counters going all the way around because I felt like it would have been a bit too much. So what I decided to do was I have a few counters in the corner, the little oven, the little fridge, and then on the other side of the kitchen I decided to make it into a place where we've got one of them storage cabinets that's meant to have, you know, like different fancy bowls and fancy cutlery, all that kind of stuff. Originally I did place down a table and I was playing around with it for a little while, but then I decided to change it. You'll see it, I cut it out the video, but I was going to place like a little breakfast table in there, but I just didn't like the way it was looking, so I decided to change it. But you can see that I've just placed down another one of the new objects that we've got from the new like patch update thing, and it's them little aprons on the wall. I end up moving them in just a second, but can we just appreciate how wholesome and just how cute they are? They come in these really festive colours, which I really appreciate, and then they also come in some really nice plain swatches, and I just know that I'm going to be using these in so many of my future builds. I can just see so many little, you know, like grandma or grandpa's cottages in, you know, the countryside. Maybe one of them loves baking, and so I love it. Honestly, some of the new items that we got from this update, I think are so nice. One of my favourite ones is the little fire tongue things. I'm not sure what they're called, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. I'll place them down in just a second, because in literally a matter of like 5 seconds, we're going to be moving on into the next room, which is the lounge room. But you will see me place them down in here. I also use this fireplace in the lounge room, which I was debating using because it's not one that I would normally use. I mean, I feel like, to be honest, if I was to use this in a build that's not going to be a festive build, it might be a bit strange. But I don't know, I was going to customise my own fireplace and then move objects. You know, the bow that I put on the front door, I was going to put them on one of the fireplaces that we have in the game. I was thinking about doing it with a fireplace that we got from Parenthood. But then I was thinking, do you know what? I don't really get to do festive builds that often. Might as well use this fireplace because it doesn't really get much use in my game. And so I decided to use this one. There is 2 versions of this fireplace. We got one from Seasons and then we got one from the free holiday pack. But the free holiday pack one is basically the same one from Seasons, but it's just got some different swatches of it. I decided to go for the swatch that's got this like red plaid in it, and it's got some hints of green, and it's, to me, this is very festive and very more traditional. And I know this is a thing because everyone has their own traditions at Christmas and everyone interprets Christmas different ways. A lot of people don't even celebrate Christmas, so everyone just has their own idea of how a house is decorated at Christmas. This cottage is kind of like my interpretation of how I would decorate a house for Christmas. I say it like I haven't got a Christmas tree sitting behind me, but you know, this is kind of, I like to have reds and greens and golds, and you know, red plaid is very Christmassy to me, and so I just tried to decorate this house to what I would decorate my house if I was a sim in The Sims. Does that make any sense? But anyway, as well, in this lounge room, I placed down my favourite base game 3-seater sofa, and then I decided to pair it with 2 armchairs that are from Cats and Dogs, because that sofa, it comes from base game, but we don't have any matching armchairs. But I found that the armchairs that we got from Cats and Dogs have a similar colour tone and kind of similar style to go along with it, and so I decided to pair them together. And now in the corner you can see that I'm just doing this little Christmas tree decoration area. Now surprisingly, I didn't think that these presents would be openable. That's not a word, but I didn't think your Sims would be able to open these presents when I came around to playtesting this house. Surprisingly, your Sims can open them presents. I didn't get my Sims to open too many presents because I still wanted there to be some presents for your Sims to open. But I also placed down this little train set in front of the Christmas tree. I don't know what it is, but the idea of having a little train set in front of a Christmas tree is just so festive to me. And so I used something that we got from base game, and I just kind of tried to make it look like it was like a line of different carriages after one another. I also placed down some like teddy bears within the present piles. I have that massive like big bear at the back that's got the red bow. I then sized down some toys, sized up some toys. I found a robot that we got from the Parenthood debug menu. It's one of the ones that your Sims can make, and I placed that in the middle of the present pile, and your Sims can activate it so it kind of like move and spin and stuff in the lounge room. But yeah, also one more thing that I did in that room, which I thought was such a good idea, is I went through the season's debug menu and I found the mistletoe where your Sims will hold upon like one another's heads, and I rotated it using the tool mod, and then I put it in the archway of the door, so then when your Sims would walk through the archway they would just kind of like walk underneath the mistletoe. I just thought it was such a nice small detail. But anyway, moving on from that, as you can see, I've now moved on into the next room, which is the dining room. So in here, I just basically wanted there to be a space where your Sims could sit around the table together. There's enough chairs for all members of the family, and they just have their grand meal of the day, whether it be grand breakfast, you know, grand lunch, grand dinner. I mean, you can have the grand meal for the Winterfest tradition at any point during the day. So maybe they eat every single meal at this table during Winterfest. But in here, as you can see, I went for the cats and dogs table and then chairs, and then I went through the Parenthood debug menu and I found these table settings, and I used the fancy ones, and well, they're called fancy. I'm not saying that they look fancy. They're called the fancy table setting. But I used them in red because I thought it could, like, you know, tie in with the red decorations on the Christmas tree. I then also placed down some holiday crackers onto the table as well. And then upstairs, you'll see when we move on into one of the bedrooms. So in total, there is 4 Christmas trees in this house. There's one in the lounge room that you've already seen me do. There's one in the dining room, which you're seeing me doing now. And then there is one upstairs in the hallway, and then one in the kids' room. Which, by the way, I haven't even mentioned how many bedrooms or bathroom this house has. So this house has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. I think I must have just got too carried away talking about the Sims Delivery Express service that I completely forgot to mention it, because I normally say that at the very start of the video and, you know, like tell you a little bit more about the house and what other rooms it's got inside. But I think I just got a little bit too carried away. And so, yeah, there's 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. But for future reference, if I do that again, which to be fair, I'm normally quite good, and like I said, I normally tell you right at the start, but just in case I don't, I always list everything in the build details in the description box down below, so you can find, you know, what packs I used, how many bedrooms it's got, how many bathrooms it's got, you know, how much it costs and what lot size it's on, and all the information basically that you would want to know. I always list in the description box down below. But yeah, like I said, there's 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, but in one of the bedrooms I tried to make the Christmas tree more homemade, and I tried to use like debug menu items to try and make it look like ornaments that Sims have made and put on themselves. Because one of my favourite things about Christmas, and I don't really tend to have any anymore, just because since I've like grown up, I've moved house, you know, things get lost when you move house. But when I was little, I used to always make like Christmas ornaments to put on the Christmas tree at school, and then I used to bring them home, and I used to be so proud having your ornament on the Christmas tree. And so you can see that I've now moved on into the bedroom, and I'm placing all these different ornaments, and there's some of them little kind of like character things. They look like little ghosts to me, but they're from the holiday crackers that I placed downstairs in the dining room. Before I came in and I started furnishing it, I did get a Sim to put some, I think they're called popcorn and cranberry. It's kind of like tinsel. It's not tinsel, but it acts like tinsel that kind of wraps around the tree, and then I just, you know, clutter it up with them little, like, I think they're called magic beans, and I'm pretty sure it's when you want to have a plant Sim, which if I'm being honest, I completely forgot that we could have plant Sims in The Sims 4, but there is a load of different colours of them. I believe there's blue and red. I think there might be like a yellow and maybe a green one. So if you want your Sims Christmas trees to be a little bit more customised, why not go into the debug menu and, you know, make them to whatever colour scheme that your Sims bedrooms are. Because something that I found when I was decorating this house, with the Christmas trees that we have in the game, there's only really 3 different styles that you could go for. I did one of the styles in the dining room, the other style in the lounge room, and then The other style I didn't go for, but it's kind of like a blue and white style. And so if you want them to be maybe like a different colour, maybe you want a, I don't know, an orange and a purple Christmas tree, go for the debug menu and just clutter them up and then move objects them onto it. And honestly, I feel like it just makes it a little bit more personalised to your Sims family. But anyway, enough talking about that and talking a little bit more about this bedroom. So in here, you can see that I decided to go for the Dream Home Decorator bunk beds in this kind of like pink swatch, you know, it might as well match to the Christmas tree. And then I also placed down like a toy box. I did a bunch of different, you know, like wall decorations. I originally put some like wall decorations that we got from Seasons on the wall where the bunk beds are, but I didn't like the way they was looking, so I decided to switch them out to be some fairy lights that we got from Parenthood. And then there is also like a drawing table in there. The only one real major problem that I came into when I was playtesting this build was with that drawing table, because as you would have seen, I placed a drawing table and then directly behind it I placed a plant. And I honestly thought that I left enough room for your Sims kids to be able to sit down, but unfortunately the kid that I was playtesting it with couldn't sit down, and so I had to delete that plant behind it. And then the only one other small issue that I ran into when I was playtesting it would be downstairs in the kitchen. I just placed a pot on top of the stovetop, but I placed it on, I think, the left hand side. And then when my Sim was making their eggs and toast, they couldn't finish up the meal, and so I literally just placed it onto the right hand side and it was done. My Sim also didn't almost burn the house down when I was playtesting it, but luckily I saved a version of the house before my Sim almost caused a massive fire. But anyway, moving on from that, as you would have seen, I just quickly did the other bedroom. The other bedroom in this house, because there is 3 in total, was a very small box room. It's a very English bedroom because in England there's a lot of small box bedrooms. Didn't really know what kind of Sim would be sleeping in there, and so I kind of made it a generic room. Maybe as it's, you know, like Winterfest, you've got relatives coming from all over the place and they need somewhere to sleep. Maybe some of them are sleeping downstairs on the sofa, and then maybe one of them has got the luxury of sleeping upstairs in the spare bedroom. But now, as you can see, I've moved on into the last bedroom of the house. I'm still going to go ahead and decorate the hallway in just a second, but this is kind of like the master bedroom. It's in here, there is an ensuite. You can see there's like a little door. It goes into an ensuite. It just has a toilet, sink and then shower. But in the bedroom itself, I decided to go for the 4-poster bed that we got from Cats and Dogs. There is also a fireplace, there's like a little armchair, there's also another little present pile. But now you can see I've gone ahead and I've started furnishing the upstairs hallway. In here there's one more Christmas tree, and I decided to use a bunch of different presents that your Sims would gift to each other in the game, and so I paired them with some packages as well to try and make it look like, you know, that craft wrapping paper, you know, kind of like cardboardy looking wrapping paper. I imagine that was the wrapping paper that was used on them presents underneath the tree. But anyway guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and end this voiceover right here. So as always, you can download this build via the gallery. My origin ID is JessicapieYT, or you can just search for the hashtag JessicapieYT or just the hashtag Jessicapie. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, if you do like my content, then please do subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speedboarding video. Bye guys!